As always, take a few cleansing breaths to just allow yourself to settle into this first position and to become aware of how you're feeling physically. Taking a breath to observe the mental state and emotional state. Begin to let the body become more still and just notice how you feel as a whole. What is the most up energy for you right now? What is most prevalent? If there was one word to describe how you're showing up right now, what might that be? Just allowing your breath to flow naturally, becoming more aware of the depth of the breath, all of the qualities, the pace, the length, the warmth or coolness. And gently pressing into your sits bones to lengthen your spine and extend all the way through the crown of the head. Bring awareness to the alignment of your head over your heart and your heart over your hips. Oftentimes, we're so used to leaning forward over our computers or work, or leaning forward to be with little kids or whatever it is. Whenever we're in action, when we're in service, a lot of times we're leaning forward. And so in this moment, we take a chance to just take a step back, become the observer, and find that center line. See if you can soften the muscles across the forehead and behind the eyes, relaxing cheeks, jaw, tongue, throat. Allow that sense of ease to run down through your arms and just notice the way you place your hands on your legs, making a conscious decision if you would like to keep them turned down or up today. And then bring your attention right behind the belly button as you take your next 5 breaths in and out through the nose. Forming a connection to your breath, your body, without judgment and critique, or noticing if that begins to come in. As you take these last couple of breaths, imagine the space around you from that place in your belly starting to expand outwards. The energy of your breath beginning to radiate all through the body and around the body, forming a sphere and creating space for you to move and breathe and be in this morning. And let's just take a nice big morning stretch. You can sweep the arms out and up. Just take a reach to the top, lifting up your shoulders, feeling that length come up through the spine. You might move your wrists around or fingers, whatever feels good. Maybe even add in a little side bend. It's that natural morning stretch that we do when we get out of bed that invites spaciousness in and encourages your energy for the day to begin to flow all through the body. Take a nice big breath here. Letting it come out through the mouth or through a yawn. Then let your arms sweep down and out, bringing the fingers to K27 right below the collarbones and begin to tap or thump into these 2 points. Deepen your breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might let the eyes flutter open. Find a rhythm that feels good to you. Keep that nice cleansing breath as you move down to the center of the sternum for the thymus thump. Clearing out any junk in the throat and the chest. To the side seam of the body for the end of the spleen. Maybe see what it feels like to use a little fist on the sides. Shake off the hands. One more tap on the cheekbones right beneath the eyes for beginning of stomach meridian. Grounding more deeply into your sits bones. Feeling the connection of your legs into the earth. And tap all around the eyes. Shake off the hands. Let them rest on the thighs, taking a moment to ground. Turning your attention inwards, and just notice the effect of these first few movements and breath. Deepen your breath. Begin to march the hands in place, letting them fall same hand to thigh. Again, just taking that morning stretch. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth here. Or maybe again, it's like that yawn. Pause, come into cactus. Open the chest here for a moment. Feel your lower belly engage as you lift up through the center of the heart and draw the elbows back and shoulders out. Backs of the hands, imagine they're pressing against a wall behind you. In through the nose, out through the mouth, cross crawl, opposite hand to thigh. And find a peaceful rhythm that feels good to you, a sort of flow in the way you move from side to side. One more breath. Let the hands come down in front of the pubic bone, one over the other. Take a little loop through the shoulders, sitting up nice and tall, finding that center line through the spine, the chest, and the head. Take a moment here to set an intention, or really to just allow an intention to bubble up. A single word or phrase that will guide you. And inhale, sweep the hands straight up through the center line and flipping the palms, spreading out into your space. 2 more times, breathing in and spreading out. Zip up. Exhale. Hook up, middle finger to the belly button and the third eye. Press in and draw up, 3 deep breaths. Let the hands rest on the thighs or knees. Take a quiet moment to observe. Moving into your yogic breath. And occasionally throughout the practice, when you need a big release or to let go of excess energy or stress, take that deep cleansing breath. Bring the fingers to the center of the forehead and draw the fingers apart towards the temples for a crown pull, making space all through the mind. Then move back towards the hairline, right on the center line. Press in and pull apart an inch or two. Move back an inch and same thing. Press in, pull apart. You might mess up your hair a little bit. That's okay. Stick with it and Just keep moving down the center line of the skull, making lots of space in the mind for you to think clearly. Keep going all the way to the base of the head. And when you do get to the base, maybe pull out a little further towards the base of the ears. And then continue down the neck on either side of the spine until you get to the tops of the shoulders, where you can let the arms hang on the shoulders and give a little massage. And draw down towards the collarbones, and using your fingers in between each of the ribs on the chest, you're just going to rake across the chest, moving down the sternum. Noticing if there's any tender points, giving that maybe a little extra massage or an extra rake. And then reach around to your back, up as high as you can. So you're kind of leaving off where you left on the front, but moving to the back. Press in on either side of the spine and pull apart, moving into a spinal flush all the way down the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Paying special attention and giving extra care to any areas that might be a little tender. Keep going all the way down and off the tailbone. And just give a little massage into the glutes. You can do 2 little fists here, a little tap or a rub. Then reach up as high as you can on your back and just smooth down the spine 3 times. Take a cleansing breath here. Sweep the arms out and up. Celtic weave into a forward fold. Folding over the shins, the hands support you on the ground. You don't have to go to any certain depth, just allow yourself to lean in. And then press your hands back towards the knees, sitting up. Walk the hands all the way behind you, fingers point towards your backside, and lift your chest. Let the shoulders roll open. Good, and release from that. Let the chest come down. We're going to do one more press here, lifting up the hips. And release back down. Switch the cross of the shins. Inhale, arms sweep overhead, Celtic weave, creating a nice strong boundary for you today. Releasing hands onto the earth, take a fold, let the head bow and breathe. Maybe you find a little neck movement here if you find any tension in the upper back or through the head. Walk the hands all the way behind you, coming through center, and then leaning into the hands as you lift the chest, rolling open the arms and shoulders. Let the chest sink back down, and then one more time, lift up through the hips. Let the shoulders roll open, chin lifts. Release, come back down, and then swing your legs out to the side and come into tabletop. Spread your hands like stars. Flatten the tops of the feet and hide them behind the thighs. Find a lot of space in your spine and just find a neutral tabletop for a moment. Notice what it feels like to find a neutral spine. And a little strength in the belly and the arms as you hold the position, balancing out the effort and the ease. Slow cow and cat. Pay really close attention to every movement here as you let the belly start to lower, the lower ribs start to lower, the chest opening forward. Exhale and start to round the spine, drawing the tailbone under, rounding upper back and chin. 2 more times, nice and slow. And after your cat pose, come into tabletop. Extend your left leg back. Press into both arms evenly. Feel your lower belly drawing in and up. And then extend your right arm, finding balance. Begin to weather vane, cross over the center line of the body as you sway side to side. And pause in the middle. Breathe in, lengthen through the heel and the fingers. Exhale, release into table, and switch sides. Right leg shoots back. Find the position here first, toes dialing down. Belly hugging in, left arm extends. Once you found your balance and center, begin to weather vane. Maintaining the length and stability through your center. Try not to focus so much on the hand and the foot, but all of the space in between. Come back through center, re-engage, lengthen, and release, table. Switch sides, lifting leg and hand at the same time. Draw the knee under to the nose and hold on to the shin underneath of the body, kind of like cat pose as you lift up. Breathe. Release, table, other side, right leg, left arm, extend. Draw knee to nose, hold on to the shin. Find that cat posture. And release. One more time, left leg, right arm. Option to either just lift the heel and thumb, finding a little back bend, or if it's available, bend the knee and reach back for your foot. If you do find your foot, you can gently kick into the hand, lifting up the chest, letting the shoulder roll open. And release. One more side, right leg, left foot. Either lifting up through the heel and thumb, stabilizing there, or bend the knee and reach back. Finding a little deeper back bend. And release, child's pose. Holding the head and the hands in this first variation. Balancing on your elbows as you hold the head. Covering forehead, eyes, and cheeks with the palms. Big toes connect, knees a little further apart. Let your head and neck relax. Allow yourself to just be in these postures this morning. A surrendering to your practice. Release the hands down. Extend them all the way forward, coming into extended child's pose, forehead coming down to the mat or to a block. Walk your fingertips forward, feeling your shoulders lengthen, spine lengthen, and heels or hips right on top of the heels. Then press into your hands, lift your head up, and walk the hands off to the right side of your mat, taking a side bend. Refold the head down over the right knee. For more sensation, you can cross left fingertips over right. Lifting back up, walk through center, and off to the left. Option to cross right hand over left as you refold. And breathe into that right side body and shoulder. Come back through center. Fold in the middle, reaching your arms forward. Let the head bow. And then slide the hands on the stickiness of your mat, slowly pulling the arms back to sit in hero's pose. You can bring the thighs together, sitting on the heels, or if that's uncomfortable, you can slide a block in between your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, and then twisting to the right like a corkscrew. The arms come out to the sides. Gaze back towards your right thumb. Inhale, arms come through center, and twist the other way. Gaze towards your left thumb. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. And exhale, other way. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands come to the hips and then lift all the way up onto your shins. Let your thumbs press into the tops of the glutes, gently drawing the tailbone down and opening the chest. Feel the tops of your thigh or the tops of your shins and feet pressing down, almost a camel. We're not going to lean further back than this. It's a really subtle back bend, more so to engage the legs and glutes and to start to find that opening through the front body. You might be able to draw the elbows a little closer together. And then realign head, heart, and hips. So if you leaned back, just come through that center line and relax. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, Celtic weave coming into tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Stretch the toes, whatever you need to do here to just warm up the legs, to make some space in the lower body. We've been sitting for a bit, so we're going to start to stretch that out now. Stabilize in the posture, letting the movement come to a halt. Anchor into your left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg just to your extent. Don't worry about doing like this big splits. Just lift to a point that you can hold and then balance out the weight in the arms. Breathe here. Press into the hands so you're not collapsing in the shoulders. You might start to feel a shake just knowing that your energy and body is waking up. Release the right toes down, left leg lifts. Press away from the mat and out through the heel, staying connected to that space in between. Release, left foot comes down, and then take a walk to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. You can hold on to opposite elbows, bending the knees and ragdoll, swaying a little side to side or forward backwards. Connect to your breath, see what feels good to you here. Letting go. Surrendering to your practice. Release the elbows, bend the knees, and bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. Fingers point in, and we'll find just a little more cat-cow movement here. Connect to your own breath as you round the spine and draw the chest forward. You might find that the breath is actually synchronizing in the opposite way as when you're on hands and knees. It doesn't really matter so much, just sync it up to your own breath. Then come back to a neutral spine. Step your feet off to the sides of the mat so you're in a goddess pose. Hands still on the thighs. Dip your left shoulder down. Look over your right. Breathe in and out. Inhale through center, and as you exhale, twist the other way. Right shoulder down. Look over the left. Inhale, center. And this time we'll hold the twist. Left shoulder comes back down, and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Like you're really blowing this breath out. Come through center. And one more time, other way for 3 cleansing breaths. Come back through center. Round the spine as you roll up to stand. Head is the last thing to rise. When you get to the top, walk or step your feet together. Tadasana. Loop your shoulders back, turn the palms open. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Emi Mudra. Connect all the finger pads, bringing the thumb to the heart and index finger to the base of the throat. Keeping a nice open chest, feel your legs gently engage. Energetically lifting up the toes and planting them down one at a time from little toe to big toe. Notice where your breath is now. Where are you breathing? Try to take your next few breaths into your belly. Might feel a little different now that you're standing. As the posture changes, the breath often changes. And it gives us clues as to where there might be some tension or holding. So find your posture here where you can breathe freely, bringing a sense of calm into your posture, standing posture. Then flatten the palms together, connecting heaven and earth. Bend the knees and split the palms, one up, one down, holding the breath in for a moment. And exhale to come back through center. Switch sides. One more time each way. Both arms sweep up. Exhale, Celtic weave, coming down, forward fold. Step your right foot back, crescent lunge, keeping the back knee lifted, or your option really to lower it. Just find that runner's lunge to start, lengthening out your spine, pressing back through the heel. Anchor into your feet, and then inhale, rise up with the arms. Celtic weave as you come back down, slowly feeling the belly engage. And then you're just going to step forward to the front of your mat, forward fold. Let the head go. Step the left foot back, same thing. Runner's lunge, feeling that back thigh lift if you are keeping it lifted. Inhale, arms come up. Celtic weave, flowing back down, slowly, slowly. Step forward to the front of your mat, same thing, other side, right foot back. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, Celtic weave. Step forward, switch, left foot back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, weave. We're going to mix it up on this next one. Step forward, right foot steps back. Inhale, rise up with the arms, and then we're going to take a twist to the left, opening your arms like that corkscrew again. Opening up the palms, you can find a little bend in that back knee and stay anchored into the big toe. And then lift your arms overhead while you're in your twist. Come through center, crescent lunge, feel the hips squaring off. And then we're going to open into warrior two, pivot the back heel down and spread the arms out to the sides. Breathe. Steady your gaze. Peaceful warrior, but only go as far as you can hold the pose. And then we're going to lift that bottom arm, almost like you're holding a big sun between your hands or a big moon. Bending both of the elbows. And then come back to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. So step forward to the front of your mat and take a fold. Left foot steps back, same thing. Inhale, sweep the arms up. We're going to add on that twist. A little bend in the back knee as you open your arms, like you're popping open a bottle of wine. Feel that center line running through your spine, through your center, your heart, your head. Staying in your twist, lift your arms back overhead. Imagine you're holding a little ball of energy over the head, a pure white glowing light. Then come back through center, crescent lunge, and pop the back heel down, warrior two. Let your mind have a seat in the posture. You don't have to worry about what comes next. Letting yourself experience everything that's here for you now. Finding a peaceful warrior that you can hold. Lift the right arm up and back. You can bend that right elbow and then lift the bottom arm, holding on to that big ball of energy. Warrior two. Cartwheel hands down. Step forward to the front of your mat, forward fold. Interlace the hands behind the back, either just letting the hands rest here on the back or lift them up and off, taking a deeper stretch in the shoulder girdle, lifting the arms, letting the head bow. You might be able to press into the feet a little more, lengthening the backs of the legs. Hands come down to the Ming Man point, flattening them behind the belly button. Begin to circle around this point, sea of vitality. Lift your head and shoulders, come into chair pose, and switch the direction of your circles. Standing up, hands dip down to the sacrum, up and over the hips. Flip your palms in front of the hip flexors, and trace up and around the torso, cupping around the mouth. 3 audible breaths. Hands come down over the heart, taking a pause. Observing the effects of your practice. Hands slide down to the hip creases. Iliocecal Houston valve clear. Press in on the low belly and drag the hands up to the ribs. Exhale, shake it off. Do that again. Inhale, dragging up. And one more time. Start under the ribs, press in and drag it down. And shake it off. Step your feet towards the outside edges of your mat. Arms come overhead, steeple hands, interlace the fingers, pointer fingers up. Breathe in at the top. Exhale, Malasana, coming into a yogi squat, arms point forward. Inhale, press through the feet, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, press up. And lower. 3 more times, a little quicker if you can, but find a pace that's right for you. Keeping the arches of the feet lifted. And then the next time you rise up, point your hands to the right. And then we're going to cross. We're going to make like a big X through the body. So inhale up to the right. Exhale, squat and point to the left. Inhale up to the right. Exhale to the left. Stay connected to your center, into the right. Big cross to the left. Come up through center and then point to the left, making like a half moon over to the other side. Exhale, point to the right, drawing a big cross. Inhale left. Exhale to the right. One more time. Inhale up to the left, and then draw a big circle with your fingers, like you're swirling around the hips, the shoulders. Switch direction. Really take your time here. Don't rush. feel it out as you move all the way around. Lift the arms straight towards center like a laser beam. Breathe in. Exhale, hands come behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Step your feet together. Draw the knuckles down and engage the legs. Squeeze your arms together. Try to breathe right into the center of your heart. Release. Shake it out. Bring your hands around to the lower back or right above the hips. We're going to find another back bend here. Looping the shoulders back, draw your elbows together. Back bends start with this engagement of the legs. So ground into your feet. Feel the legs and glutes engage, and then start to lift through your center, through your heart space. And then wherever you ended up, maybe you back up just a little bit and breathe there. You found your edge, and then go to where it's just a little easier to breathe. Release. You can shake out the arms again if that feels good. We're going to come into one more back bend, coming into Emi Mudra. Finger pads touch, thumbs in the heart, index fingers base of the throat. Loop your shoulders back, engage the legs, strong glutes, lift up into your heart center. Finding a baby back bend in the upper back. Breathe. Release. Come to Tadasana. Take a moment to observe. Sweep the arms out and up, heaven rushing in. The legs are engaged again. Funneling in whatever it is that you need today, being open to receive that, even if you don't know what it is. You have a full day in front of you, so just opening yourself up to all of those blessings, to all of the gratitude, to whatever it is that's going to support you today. And imagine all of those blessings just funneling right into your center, moving into your deepest sense of core and self. And come through center. Bring the fingertips to touch overhead like you're making the point of a diamond. Find the center line, head, heart, hips, and heels. And we're going to encase ourselves in this discerning diamond, helping us to know the truth. Whatever that is for you today, knowing that deepest truth. Remembering who you are. And we're going to make this big diamond around the body. So you're going to split those arms open, going out to the sides, like the sides of the diamond, and then shooting straight down beneath the feet. So obviously we can't reach below the ground physically, but energetically, imagine your fingertips are coming to a point right below your feet, maybe a foot or two into the earth. Then bring your hands to the big toes, tracing up spleen. Let's seal all of this in here. Nice slow trace up the inseams of the legs, flaring out at the hips, up to the shoulders, and down to the side body, giving a little buzz here. Tadasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Hands come right down to the heart. Lift your right knee. Feel your tailbone drawing down and hug in the low belly. Then move into tree pose. You can use your hand to help position the foot somewhere along the inseam of the leg. And then open your arms in a surrendering kind of position. They can be a little lower here. We're not in a back bend. We're just opening the chest and shoulders. Then bring that right elbow in towards the waist and lift your left arm up and over, taking a side bend in your tree, like it's swaying in the wind. Release from that side bend. Bring the knee back to center and then cross or step it down. Switch sides, ground into the right foot, lift the left. Opening up the knee, come into your tree. Left elbow comes towards the waist, right arm comes up and over. Nice strong branches of a tree. Breathe. Release from your side bend. Knee comes back to center. Release the foot down. And then into eagle pose. Right thigh over left. Right arm under left, holding onto shoulders or binding the hands. Reinforcing that strong crossover pattern. The interweaving of left and right sides of the body. The opposing energies in the body like currents. Observe yourself in this posture. Let your mind take a seat and observe. Really think about what that means, what it would be like for you. Say you're at a party and you just sat down and observed. Let that be the state of your mind here. Now we're going to release the pose, coming into Tadasana. Take a breath or two in between, just standing up nice and tall. Switch sides. Left leg over, left arm under. See where you might be able to soften a little bit. Going back to that same analogy of taking a seat at the party. Maybe you've been dancing a lot. Maybe you've been really active in this get together, party, whatever it is. And then you take a rest. And you let that sense of ease come over you. What it would be like to just take a pause. And simply release and come into Tadasana in observation. Take a moment here to make an offering to your day. Offer up your gratitude, offer up your love or your peace, offer up your skills, your honesty, your kindness. Make an offering to this day. What will you give it? We're going to move into human touching the divine, which is the peak pose for the metal element. So we'll bring in that S sound with a big, long, like steam coming out of the kettle. And then we'll add in the back bends. So just like we've done before, engage the legs as you come through each one of these back bends. And each time that we come into the back bend, it's a surrendering, it's a letting go. And each time that we take that S sound and curve around a big tree, it's like you're holding on to all of that wisdom that will carry with you. It's like just so much that you get to wrap your arms around and Just embrace. Just think about these two pieces of this posture. Let's begin with a low back bend, surrendering. Inhale. Exhale, give a big hug around all this wisdom you take with you. To the height of the shoulders, back bending, surrendering. And a big hug, so much gratitude. Inhale, overhead, like heaven rushing in. Arms come overhead, slide down the backs of the arms, keep your sound going. Landing on the upper outer chest over the high lungs. And take 2 more breaths. Faith comes into this metal element. Trusting that the lessons that you've learned, the wisdom that you've gained along this journey, it'll carry with you with ease. You can let go of the rest. Let the hands come down to your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Grab a hold of a big ball of energy overhead. And then we're going to spread that energy out as you come into a forward fold, splitting the arms out wide, come all the way down, and then lower your seat to the mat. Wrap your arms around your waist, holding on to the spleen points. Sit up nice and tall, like in a version of boat pose. Leaning back just a little bit. Slowly lower an inch or two down. And an inch more. And an inch more. And an inch more. And an inch more. Slow, slow, slow. Coming all the way down. Try to keep your feet on the earth. And release. Bend both of the knees, arms by your side, bridge pose. Inhale, lift your hips. Take 3 breaths. At the end of your 3rd breath, let the hips come back down. Arms out to a T, finding that corkscrew one more time. We're popping a lot of bottles of wine today. You're going to draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to the right into your twist. Hand comes on top of the thigh or hooking behind the crease of the knee. Option to extend that left leg all the way out to the side. Begin to move into the silence of this morning. And also those first little, the first sounds that are coming up. Becoming aware of the world starting to wake up. Rebend your top knee, come back to center and align your hips. Going the other way, left hip bumps towards the center of the mat, the knees draw towards the chest and roll to the left. Hooking behind the knee, extending the top leg if you'd like. As you become aware of the world waking up around you, notice how you can either be pulled in many directions, being distracted or overwhelmed or consumed by all of these outside things, or staying connected to your center. observing without attaching. And probably throughout our day, it'll be a lot of both. And we can make a conscious effort to keep returning back to center when you notice the distraction. When you notice something pulling you out of your center, come back to that stability, to come back to that consciousness, to your truth. And rebend the top knee, come back through center, finding a final resting posture, whether that's Shavasana today, or maybe you support yourself with a blanket or prop in some way. Take a deep breath as you settle in, letting the movement slow down. Notice the quality of your mind and your thoughts. Notice if they started to rush ahead, and becoming aware of how thoughts can also be distractions, taking us out of our center. Gently guide yourself back into a place of being instead of doing. Being present is to be open and available for these mysterious opportunities, these little moments of just pure joy or love or gifts that might be presented to you today in unforeseen ways. In this final posture, imagine that this is like swinging open the door to the most beautiful sunrise. Letting yourself step out into that first sun, soaking in all of its beauty and grace, all of its energy and brightness. Begin to deepen your breath as you breathe into this solar light of the day. Begin to wiggle and move in the sunlight and just feeling it brighten every single one of your cells. Opening yourself to this day. Reach your arms overhead. Take a nice big stretch. Bend the knees. Roll over to your side. Gently pressing up to a cross-legged seat. Taking a final moment to bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra. Saying thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this practice. And sealing it in, a little bow. The light in me honors and acknowledges and sees that light in both of you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a beautiful Thursday filled with so much joy and unexpected gifts. Thank you.